Brian Hayes joins us now, host of Overdrive on TSN 1050 Toronto. And Brian, we are headed to a Game 7. The Leafs have talked a lot about learning lessons from previous playoff losses, almost ad nauseum. I mean, at some point you got to go from learning the lesson to teaching the lesson. What about their win in Game 6 made you believe that the Leafs actually have learned from their playoff failures?
Yeah, it got to a point where it was being mocked, quite frankly, by fans, media, everyone saying, really, we're just going to continue to talk about the Leafs learning lessons. But I think you actually have to go back to Game 4, after Game 4, Sheldon Keefe, who was defeated after the game. His disposition was really low energy. It looked like he was thinking, okay, this could be real trouble for us. But I'll give him a lot of credit because he was posed the question, now that your back's up against the wall, do you change the way you play? Do you try to change and start to cheat? He said, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to trust the process. We're going to believe in what we have, how we are utilizing this, and we're going to move forward and we're going to dig back into this series. And that's exactly what they've done. They have not been cheating. These have been two low-event games, Jen, right? In Game 5 and in Game 6. These are not barn burners. These are not easy wins. These are low-event, low-scoring battles. They actually mirror each other. It was 2-1 in overtime in Game 5. The Leafs went 0 for 3 on the power play. 2-1 Leafs tonight, 0 for 3 on the power play. Again, it's just about learning lessons in the past that suggest continue to trust the process. Continue to have a low pulse and go out there and play. I thought they played really well defensively tonight, blocked a lot of shots, played physically. And you look at William Nylander, a guy that's been along for the ride throughout every single lesson. He's been here for 8 years. He showed up big time tonight. That was necessary. Their best players have got to be their best players. That's certainly going to continue Saturday night. Well,
Toronto's Game 7 demons are very well documented, as you know, but Boston's got their own demons. They're coming off back-to-back Game 7 losses in the first round. So who is gripping their sticks tighter on Saturday night, Toronto or Boston?
Such a cop-out, but I really think it's tied. I really think it's tied going into this. I think on the short term, it's clearly Boston. I know from experience doing radio, TV in Toronto, they are going to get crushed in that market over the next 48 hours. They are going to get destroyed. That is a market that expects championship pedigree. We know what happened to them a year ago, and they're going to have to live with that. I think Jim Montgomery's been showing it the last couple of games. He doesn't know how to handle this right now. There's a lot of nerves in that Bruins roster. I think the fact that they're at home, the nerves certainly would point to the Bruins, but big picture, on a micro level, Bruins, macro level, it's still the Leafs because they haven't won a Game 7 before. Last year when they finally slayed that dragon, it was Game 6 against Tampa. So they have not been comfortable in these positions before. They lost in that building in 2019. They lost in that building in 2018. They lost in that building in 2013. I understand a lot of turnover here, but there were still, Sheldon Keefe was there for some of it. Nylander was there. Marner was there. Riley was there. They really need to find a way to play the way they did in Game 2 in Boston and Game 5 in Boston. You do that if you're the Maple Leafs, the way Joseph Woll is playing right now, I think they're in a good place.
All right, well, let's expand on that. Let's look ahead to Saturday and what does need to go right for the Leafs if they want to finally overcome this Bruins curse, if you want to call it, and beat Boston in Game 7.
I think the power play finally has to do something for them. It's actually outrageous what's going on here. They were 0 for 3 again tonight. They had a 4-minute power play. It wasn't even close.
Nothing.
It was not even close at any point. It is killing the energy on the bench within the building tonight, and it will only boost the energy at TD Garden in Boston if that continues. Power play would be helpful. Joseph Woll keeps playing the way he's playing, but I think what they need to expect, the Maple Leafs, and I'm sure what the Bruins are also expecting, is a very similar game to what we've seen the last two games. It's very hard to believe this will be a 6-5 barn burner. It's likely going to be first and 2 goals, maybe first and 3. Again, the Leafs are surviving in this series. They're still not scoring goals. Like, this goes through the Bruins series, last year against the Panthers, last year at the end of the Tampa Bay series. They really are not exploding offensively, which is strange considering how offensively prone they were during the regular season. So I think they need to gear up for a very similar game to the one we just saw. Luckily for them, they were comfortable in both of them. They won both of them. I think if the Leafs play that way, expect that type of an outcome, they could finally slay the dragon on Saturday night.
We have got high drama coming. Toronto just a game away from its first playoff series win against the Bruins since 1959.